And then you were saying you're taking money and putting it into a small set of hands. Part of what was confusing me about that is, and I think I'm right, I believe these people also pay federal taxes. They pay federal taxes on the revenues that are generated by the casino. They may not pay state, but they pay federal. And I think once they pass the checks down to the tribal members, they pay taxes. And I believe that if you get a tribal state compact that's sitting around 25 to 27%, you're going to get some redistribution within the state level itself. But when you look at all of this stuff, and this is the one that I really think you could be helpful with us on, what are the benefits you see to the project? Other than just jobs, do you see any other potential benefits whatsoever to this project, or is it just a job animal?
I think it certainly is primarily jobs and investment. No question about those things. By the virtue of the things that I do and that SRPEDD does, we look at the traffic, land use, environmental. Those are the kinds of things. We don't have economic models to determine the impacts of the casino.
You said environmental. That was
Yes.
one.
Yep.
One of the things I've been preaching like a broken record is the fact that Middleborough hasn't bought a piece of 61A land other than to stop a 40B in a long time because it doesn't have the money to do it and it hasn't accepted the Community Preservation Act.
Right.
If you take, I agree with you that if you take a casino and you drop it down in the middle of Middleborough or the region and you do nothing else, what you will end up with is in 15 or 20 years something that generates part of your overburdened budget to begin with. I mean, your budget will grow around it to where it consumes it, and pretty soon you'll be looking for more revenue. But if you and the neighboring communities not only deal with the impacts, but also, I don't know, think about economic potential, networking potential, and individual potential to try and stimulate tourism and business, it seems to me that what you start to do is, rather than giving a man fish, you teach him how to fish. You start to generate activity, you start to reinvest in yourself, and you start to build, which will create more traffic, create more crime, create more school problems, create all kinds of issues because you will presumably have more people.
But the business model of these large casinos, whether it's in Las Vegas or Atlantic City or Connecticut, is to draw people in and feed them and house them and have them put their money into the slot machines. And those people are not going out and eating at all the restaurants around the area. And you can make the case that, in fact, they're making the choice of not going to a restaurant in a particular case and going to the casino as well. So the model, I mean, a casino should be able to be modeled where they limit the attractions within the casino to draw people to the facility, but then disperse them out into the area where they'll have an impact outside of the immediate casino.
Well, you've just named...
That isn't the model that these casinos are developing.
You've just named three different types of models. You've named Atlantic City, you've named Las Vegas. Those are not the resort models. You've got Mohegan Sun, which is probably the closest type of resort model. You've got Verona, the Mission Casino out in Verona. You've got a number of these things that are out there.